What's up everybody? Welcome back to Sew Yeah Quilting. Today I'm going to show you a super easy half square triangle quilt and we call it Flash. Let's get started. Now we call this quilt Flash because of how fast and easy the quilt is. You only need 3 different colors. A light, a medium, and a dark, and make sure the colors go together. As you can see here, we're going to the pink spectrum, and I have my light, my medium, and my dark. And really the biggest decision that you have to make is what's going to be your squares. Not the half square triangles, the actual squares, which is this one right here in this quilt. In today's video, I'm going to make my squares out of my medium pink here. Now, cutting instructions are super simple. Of my medium pink, I'm going to cut them all to be 3.5-inch squares. On my other 2 colors, they're going to be 4-inch squares. So go ahead, pull out the rotary cutter, start cutting them down. I've already gone ahead and cut my squares down. Let me show you what I've got going on here. So I have my light, my medium, and my dark. I'm going to go ahead and set my squares that won't be turned into half square triangles over here to the side. Then from here, we're going to make some half square triangles. There's a bunch of different ways to get your lines on them. Some people prefer to use a marking pencil. Others use chalk, but they all kind of have the same idea in mind. You want a diagonal line from corner to corner all the way across. In today's video, I've got some chalk here, so I'll show you how you do it with chalk. You just run it across the line there, just like so. Or if you want, grab a marking pencil or pen, and you can do the same thing here. Which another way that I learned just recently that I've been kind of liking here is you can also take your fabric, fold it over, give it a nice finger press here, and it'll give you a crease line in your fabric, and you can use that as your mark as well. Whichever way that you like to do it on one set of your squares here, mark them all with a line corner to corner. That way we can sew on both sides of the line. Once that's done, we're going to grab one of our fabrics here. We're going to take our second square, lay them right sides together. Using a 1/4-inch foot, we're going to sew onto both sides of the line. Once you've done your first side, turn it around, do the other side. Now essentially you're going to repeat this step to match however big you want your quilt to be. So I'm going to just go ahead and roll through a bunch of these. Now that we've gone ahead and sewn our half square triangles, it's time to cut them. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. I'm always a big advocate. I'm a big advocate for the rotary cutter ruler method. I feel like it's always the cleanest cut. But if you want, you can also pull out a pair of scissors and cut right on that line. I feel like it takes a little bit longer to do, but you can do it sitting on the couch or wherever. It makes it a little bit easier as far as that goes. But both methods will work for this. We're going to go ahead and cut all of ours, but as soon as they're cut, what we're going to do is we're going to press everything to the dark side, making our half square triangles. I personally love to do when I'm doing half square triangles, I'm going to go ahead and just iron all mine flat and then go ahead and square them all up. So to square up a half square triangle the traditional way, you grab your half square triangle, you're going to throw it down like so, and you're going to use a square ruler. Now the square ruler has that 90-degree line in it. You line that with your seam, and all of the cuts that we'll be doing today will be 3.5-inch square. So on your very first cut, you just want to get off the smallest little bit off of 2 sides, making sure it's square. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Then we're going to flip this whole thing around and we're going to do it one more time, this time using the markings on my ruler to make sure it is a perfect 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. Which, there you go, that right there is a perfect 3.5 by 3.5 inch square, half-square triangle. They also make specialty tools. This is a clearly perfect slide trimmer ruler. It really helps make half-square triangle cutting down a lot easier. You just follow the ruler here and you don't have to iron it beforehand. And you essentially slice both sides here. And it has little notches in it. That way you can cut off the dog ears before you even iron. And this will leave you with a perfect half-square triangle, or like I've just showed you before, you can do it the traditional way and use a square ruler. But whichever way you feel most comfortable with, we've got a lot of them to do, so do it however you like. So right here I've got my half-square triangles all squared up and ironed. Now, we're at assembling of the blocks now. Very fast quilt here. The next step is super simple. The thing that you have to remember, I've already got some of my pieces sewn together here. The biggest portion of this to make it so it just looks awesome is you've got these center squares here that have to run in a diagonal pattern. And this is the best basis for us. So as far as the assembly goes of the quilt block, it's super simple. All of your half-square triangles point into the blocks. So these right here are your 4 blocks, and you can see how all the right side here points into them, all the left side points into them. That's the entire construction of this block. From there, it's time to sew our rows together. Very simple construction. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up into rows. So first row is complete. I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of the rows here. So I got a little overzealous and I already completed most of the block here, but all you have to do is put all your rows together, just like so. And again, like I said, this is a really fast project, so you can kind of get away from you. So now that I put my last row on, all I'm going to do is take it over to the ironing board, iron it down real flat, and I'll show you what it looks like. So just like that, your quilt block is done. Now, from here, go ahead and pull out one of your square rulers and square this thing up to be a 12-inch finished block. So on this one here, I'm just a hair off. I'm going to grab my rotary cutter and cut off this one little side here, a little bit right here, which will finish me off as a 12 by 12 block, making it an 11.5-inch finished square. Now, as far as assembling your whole quilt together, this is super easy to do. What you want to make sure of is the top left square of your block is the same on every last one of them. If you make sure that happens, you'll end up with a quilt just like this. This quilt has been super fun and fast to make. You could literally make this quilt in less than a day. But if you've liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't be afraid to share it with your friends. Now, if you want to take the extra step here, go ahead and hit the bell button. That way we can notify you when our next tutorial comes out. My name's Teancum, teaching how to sew like a pro. We'll see you here next week at Sew Yeah Quilting.